Good afternoon, everyone. This is a Squared B Creative World training. I want to take us through how to make the single ruffle turban. We've made the double ruffle turban, and when we made the double ruffle turban, we talked about the two-step V-shaped cap. So I've made my two-step V-shaped cap now. You can go through the video. The way I made the two-step turban is in the first video that I sent. So this is the turban now. I've made it. I attached my handle to it. So now I have here length 100 inches. It's very long. And you see, the length is 100 inches. You can make yours as long as 120 inches. But my material is... The reason for why my own is 100 inches is because of my material. So I have 7.5 inches here for the wideness. And then I have this tiny rope, like the tiny rope we use for the double ruffle. I have this tiny rope here too. So this tiny rope I have here is 25 inches. You remember I said I will fold it. I have it 2.5 inches by 25 inches. So I had to fold it in. So I will now take this 100 inches to my sewing machine now. I'll take this 100 inches to my sewing machine. I will fold it into two and sew it down from beginning to end. So I have sewn the 100 inches. I've sewn it. You can see. I've sewn it. So I'm going to turn it inside out. I'll turn it inside out. So after sewing it and turning it inside out, remember I said 7.5 inches by 100 inches. So the next thing I will do is I will pick up this long strip. It must be on the stretchy side. Please remember, it must be on the stretchy side. It must stretch. I'm using rawsilk fabric, so my own is stretchy. What I will do is I will use a safety pin. I will pin it like this. I will take it inside the long 100 inches. I'll put it in. Inside the 100 inches. I want to make my ruffle. Remember I said ruffles is the process of which you take a long fabric and make it something rumpled and short. That's not the simple process of a ruffle. So what I'll do now is I'll pin this down. I'll use my pin to hold this. When I'm through, I'll just take my sewing machine on it. I'll just put my sewing machine on it. So I've inserted the 25 inches into the 100 inches. Now I have my ruffles. You can see I'll just use my hand to arrange it well. So one side will not be fuller than another side. Then I'll take my turban. And then I'll place it this way. Just immediately after the band. I'll fix this like this. Immediately after the band, I'll take it to my sewing machine. I will sew it on top of this place like this. Immediately after the band. So I noticed that maybe my ruffle is a little longer than the turban. I can just reduce it. You can see. On placing it flat like this, I notice maybe my ruffle is a little out here. So I will just cut a little, like 1 inch out of it. I don't want it to be tight on the user. I just want to cut maybe 1 inch out of the ruffle. So what I'll do next now is I'll take it to my sewing machine. I will sew here. I'll fix everything together with the cap like this, with the body of the cap. I'll fix it together. After fixing it together like this, then I've sewn here. I will sew here. You can see the ruffle is already balanced. on the turban. So I will just close it up like this. After closing it up like this, I will measure 10.5 inch. Please watch where I will put this handle inside. Watch where I start my own measurement from. If I want for my V shape, I measure from here like this, from the edge here, 10.5 inch. So I'll start my sewing from here. I will sew here like this and come down and close it up. Sew here like this. I'll sew it here, down here like this. After sewing it, this is what I have. I've sewn it from here to here, 10.5 inch. I've sewn it round. So I'll use my shoemaker thread to gather it round. But before I gather it, there's just a little thing. This is my lighter here. This place is a little rough. So I'll just use my lighter to light it a little. This is what I'll do. Please, you have to be careful. You don't want to burn your clothes. Just to stop the shedding. You know, some fabrics, they just shed anyhow, just to stop the shedding. So to gather it, I won't gather it from the band. I'll gather it from here. I'll gather it round. Please, the fabric I used is raw silk, and raw silk is stretchy on one side and non-stretchy on the other side. But whenever you want to use raw silk, make sure you cut your edge circumference. That is this area. You cut it on the stretchy side. I've already said that in the previous video. So I'll just tie it. I tie my own up to 3 times. Then I'll use my lighter to cut it off. Please be careful when you are using the lighter. Be careful. So my turban is ready. This is my single ruffle turban. You can see. It's very beautiful. Your own can be 120 inches so that your ruffle will be fuller than my own. But my fabric is just 1 yard. That's why I just have to manage that 100 inches. Your own can be fuller than my own. You can see it. Look at the 2-step V shape. Look at the back. Thank you for watching. I said I should just place this on the mannequin head so that you can see it. Can you see it? You can see the way my V shape is laying. I see the back of my cap. I can tuck the back in. Thank you, everyone.